GunFreaknation, how y'all doing out there? I just want to talk to you guys and gals about just being, do your best to be prepared, the best of your abilities to be prepared for, shit hit the fan. The other night I had to evacuate, some savages. They shot up a house, and they hit the gas meter, and gas was just spewing out, just pouring out, and they had to evacuate the whole block. But I was ready. I do my best to stay savage ready. I always try to train my mind uh, to expect the unexpected. You feel me? And a lot of people was like, "Well, T, it's time for you to move." No, I'm not moving. Uh, the question is, where would I go? Oh, well, you can go to the suburbs, man. They better neighborhoods. It might be a better neighborhood, like a better looking neighborhood, but like I said before, there are no more safe neighborhoods, man. The savages are everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna continue to stay here. I'm not gonna let nobody chase me out of my home. And then being here in Detroit, right here in the hood, um, it keeps you sharp. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go out there in the burbs and just have that false sense of security. I know plenty of people that say, "Hey man, I'm getting out of the city. I'm going to the burbs," and they no longer here because they went down in them burbs and they had that false sense of security and they got. Where you think the savages are going, man? They know it's money out there. They going where the money at. You know what I'm saying? Then I got people, well, gee, you just need to just move and, and go to the range and practice. I don't need to have special skills. If somebody break in my house, my house is not no big mansion or nothing. Somebody break in my house, you pick your funky town sender up. The only skill you need to know is if your funky town sender gonna work or not. You need to do a function test on that, on your funky town sender, okay? And then you point it and you aim it at the aggressive target that is trying to take your life, and you pull the trigger and it go bang. It's just that simple. Hell, anybody can go to the range and shoot some paper, man, paper targets. But see, here's the thing. You go there to the range and you shoot them paper targets all day and you think you a commando or something or Navy SEALs. Now, I get it. It's fun. And, but does it make you Delta Force or the Navy SEALs? Hell no. Because guess what? The target in real life, shit hit the fan situation. Your target is going to be shooting back at you and ducking and dodging and diving and all that. So, like I say, they break in, get your funky town sender, aim it, have a flashlight on it, identify the threat, put the threat down. Anybody can do that. You just gotta be your biggest weapon. Like I told you, your biggest weapon is your mindset, not the gun. That's just a tool. But it can go down anywhere, anytime. And I ain't talking about the Janet Jackson song. I'm literally, you can be enjoying yourself, enjoying whatever, and something can just go left like that, and you gotta, you in a situation where you gotta, defend your life. It can be crazy. So I just want y'all to stay safe. I want you to be, I don't want y'all to be a future victim, man. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I'm in the environment now, and it's sad to say that, but that's just the state of the world, man. When you leave out your house, you have to be savage ready. You got to keep your head on the swivel. You got to stay frosty, my brother and my sister, you know, because you just never know when that devil is lurking around the corner and gonna target you. You even got to be that way in your own home nowadays. It's gotten so bad, you know? And it ain't even summertime, and it's been a lot of unlivings right here in my city right now. And I'm pretty sure it's like that all over the country, all over the nation now. You know, 3 people were unalived by, this is what, I got to touch on this again. Once again, a woman dealing with a crazy ex. So what he did, when she didn't take him back, he unalived her mama, unalived her sister, and unalived her niece. After he unalived them, he put their bodies in a car, drove it all the way from the east side to the west side into an abandoned field, and set the car on fire. That little kid couldn't have been no more than 9 years old. All because she was dealing with a crazy motherfucker. It makes me angry, man. And, you know, you got women that meet, you know, dudes, and some of them, hey, I want me a bad guy. I want a thug. I want a thug. Then some of them, you know, they might be on their best behavior. You don't know that they're savage. You don't know that they're crazy. And then the more you deal with them, the more they true colors show. And when you try to leave, that's when they want to, you know, act a fool and get to stalking and doing all that crazy OJ shit. You know what I'm saying? So be careful, man. I like to be, you know, if they would have been armed and savage ready, they wouldn't even let that bastard get the drop on them to do that, man. And people just, for whatever reason, they choose not to get armed, you know, and that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? You have to stay armed. You have to be ready. And you just never know when the devil will strike you. You got to be prepared at all times. No, when I had to evacuate the other night, I didn't see that coming, man. You know, we had a good night. When I went to my first comedy show to see Lunel, we turned up right here on the other channel. And next thing you know, when I'm ready to chill and, you know, get some sleep, I'm hearing about 70 gunshots. I didn't see it coming, but see, that's the thing. When shit hit the fan happens, it happens off the blue. So you got to try to just be ready for anything when anything just pop off. You got to try to be ready for any circumstances, because I know a lot of people be like, hey man, you know, I stick to myself. I don't bother nobody. I stay in my own lane, and I get it. I'm like that too, but that didn't have nothing to do with me. That happened the other night, and I still had to evacuate. Because savages shot up a house and shot the gas meter. You know, make it make sense. Make it make sense. You could be minding your own business, and out the blue, the devil will target you and single you out. And if you are not prepared, if you ain't prepared, if you're not prepared, it's pretty much at that point a lost cause. You got to be ready at all times. It's crazy out here. It is crazy out here in the world. It's people walking around, savages walking around, and they will not hesitate to unalive you. So you gotta be ready at all times. I hope you are, GunFreaknation. And we're facing some crazy times, man. We living in some crazy days, man. In the Bible, it says that sell your cloak and buy yourself a sword. All right? You ain't got to have multiple swords, multiple guns. All you really need is one. I prefer you have at least two, a handgun and some type of rifle or shotgun. You know, but you just got to be ready, man. You don't want to be a statistic. You don't want to be a future on the cover of a future obituary because you wasn't prepared. It's different levels to this. You got to be prepared. You got to know, like that song go, that Kenny Rogers song. You got to know when to fold them, baby. Get the hell up out of here. Don't be trying to have no, you know, if somebody do something that piss you off, walk away. Don't engage in the fuck shit because it ain't gonna get you nowhere. You got too much to lose. And shout out to Trump for trying to, you know, give restore felons' rights to be armed. Because I firmly feel that, you know, depending on the crime, you know, as long as the crime wasn't violent, you ain't, you know, unalive nobody. People make mistakes, and everybody that didn't commit a violent crime should have a chance to have their firearms so they can protect themselves, to be able to, you know, to have the right to, you know, to protect themselves, man. So shout out to Trump for trying to restore, gun rights for felons. You did. So, you know, I just want to be thankful, man. You know, take time out to appreciate the people that appreciate you, that's doing right by you. And, you know, just keep it moving, man. And just be ready for whatever. Be ready for whatever. You know, because I'm going to tell you something, man. Life is so short. And when shit hit the fan, it could be just like that in seconds. So you just gotta hope for the best, but be prepared for the worst. You hear me? Hope for the best. Be prepared for the worst. You know? Because you just never know what is, you know, coming your way. But if that savage get in your way, knock his ass out the way. And if you have to, send him the funky time. Alright? Don't feel no way about it, because you ain't out there messing with nobody. You ain't out there instigating nothing. You ain't antagonizing nobody. You living your life. And I think everybody has the right to want to live a peaceful life. Hell, it's stress already just dealing with life in general. You did? But when you throw in savages and stuff, but like I said, we living in a devil's world, man. A system designed by the devil. And you just gotta, you know, just be ready. Send them the funky time. You know, but GunFreaknation, I love y'all. You know, stay on your P's and Q's. Stay savage ready at all times. Protect your family. Defend your loved ones at all times. Okay? I love y'all. Listen, y'all stay safe. Stay armed. Stay responsible with your firearms. Stay righteous. And do what you got to do to survive. You know what I'm saying? That devil get in your way. That savage get in your way. Send their ass to funky town. I love you, GunFreaknation. Salute, baby. Yeah.